Talking CRM with Jeff and David, getting the best value for the whole organization from your integrated CRM and accounting systems. David Beard, CRM Principal, and Jeff Richards, Head of Training Program Development for Sage CRM, spend time chatting with customers, resellers, and others about Sage CRM in action around the globe.
Across 2 episodes, Jeff Richards and David Beard from the Sage CRM team talk with Bertus Fick and Tommy Kwok of Opus Xenta, a global technology company serving the death care profession. With offices in Australia, New Zealand, Europe and North America, Opus Xenta and their solutions enable companies in the death care profession, cemeteries, funeral homes and crematoria, to use digital tools to help build out their presence and manage their operations better, adapt to the changing market environment, and more. You can read more about the tools and how they work at opusxenta.com. That's opusxenta.com. In this episode, Jeff reflects with Bertus and Tommy about their shared history with CRM and earlier ACPAC Sage products, while I speak with Bertus more about their specialism in death care and the business needs of that specific industry. First up, here's Jeff.
Could both of you introduce yourself and really how long you've been working with Sage CRM?
Okay, my name is Bertus Fick. I am the COO of Opus Xenta. We basically deliver a bespoke, I would say, death care experience to customers, obviously leveraging Sage CRM technology quite a lot. So previous life, I've been a consultant of Sage since 1995.
That's a long time. That's with the original ACPAC product and that then became Sage 300, I guess.
Yeah, 100%. I still remember the hard disks. I remember the dongles. I remember everything. I do remember if you messed up a dongle, it was a problem. You had to send it all the way back to the US.
And was that that would have been the original ACPAC DOS version, would it? That you were working with?
It was the way to get your license files. You had to stick in the system manager and then your dongle at the back, and you copied your license over to that. And you would pray that the power didn't go off because then it would corrupt the file, the dongle itself, and then you'd send the whole stack back. So, yes, I know all about that.
I've been in the industry as long as you have, and it was very interesting to start off with things. I used to think that when I started working with Sage CRM, which was when it was eWare, that for a while we sponsored eWare taxis running around London, and the joke was, why is an eWare taxi just like Windows? Because if you open more than one window, it will crash. And why should you never get into an eWare taxi? Because no matter what you tell the driver, it'll always take you somewhere more architecturally interesting.
In all my years, Jeff, of talking with you, I've never heard that story.
There you go. Stick with me. Hi, Tommy. So tell me about yourself. How long have you been working with the product?
I've been with knowing Sage CRM for over 10 years. So currently in Opus Xenta, my role is the head of innovation product development. So coming from, I think when I start, it's not as old as Sage CRM 6.
We'll refer to him as the rookie then.
Yeah.
Bertus, you use this expression of death care, and I think for some people they might know what that is, for others they may not. Could you walk us through the typical stakeholders that you talk to, the challenges of that industry, and how CRM helps them do things better?
Yes, when we talk about the stakeholders there, David, we're talking about the people that are dealing with the families at the end of the day. It's all about relationships. And I guess that's the key part of CRM is that customer relationship. It just makes sense that you use that as an engine to drive your business processes. Now, what Opus has done is Opus has realized that it's fantastic to have the relationship part managed, but you also need to put some compliance and obviously some let's call it business processes around all of these particular aspects. So Opus really has just gone and taken what is a very great experience for the team and for the front of house staff and your operations people. And we've given them some rules so that they can follow that. And if you were to historically look at some of your older cemetery management systems, which is what they call them, it would be your very flat two-dimensional processes. You've got a bunch of tabs. Person would start with the first one being, let's call it the deceased. The second is the holders, all the responsible people, and just follow through there. What we've been able to do with Sage CRM and the Opus platform on top of it is make that a seamless and a more user-friendly experience for that operator. Follow a process of a type in, the person details. The person details then follow through. If there's a company, let's say I'm dealing with a cemetery company, then I can bring the funeral home in there. We've been able to leverage some things of selecting if I'm a certain diocese. So let's say I am a Catholic, then I can select all the clergy that's associated. So it just gave us an ability to work the way these people would like to work with a family in front of them. The strong point of Opus is taking that experience and making it a business process and making sure they can follow this from pillar to grave.
Thinking about the industry itself, what's changed about the industry that makes your offer more compelling? What's going on in the Cemetery Management Association industry?
I think, what, we were probably disrupting an industry that didn't realize they needed disruption.
Right.
But what COVID did is COVID just made it an extreme reality that if you do not have an ability to facilitate your offering offline or people working remotely. Remember when we said a company was, if you weren't on the internet, you were dead?
Yes.
It's the same thing. If you do not have the ability to work remotely, you are dead. Because we just don't know how long this thing is going to linger and what the end point is. I think everybody believes it and wants it to be over very quickly. There's no crystal ball that'll tell us where the end of this whole thing will be.
And particularly at your end of the world, because of the Isolation Australia approach, it looked like it was working, but then you're still left with the gates closed. And now you've got an uptick of cases anyway, right?
Exactly. You could almost say the pearly gates are closed.
Yeah. So your typical customer then is who? Is it a cemetery? Is it a group of cemeteries? And what are they replacing?
Let's talk about what they're replacing. They are replacing legacy cemetery management systems, and often it could be multiple systems. They could replace a mapping system on one side, and they could replace a CRM on another side, and they could replace a cemetery management system, which would be the stock. And when we call it stock, it's really the available plots that you've got, or the positions in a garden. All three of those things could have been separate systems all by themselves, and that was integrated with some form of, a data sharing or something like that. The Opus platform has all of it in one. So it is a holistic cemetery management system. And like I said, who do we sell it to? Funeral homes, cemeteries, crematoriums. Size, it could be small, as in 500 positions, up to millions. We've got customers that are running 19, 20, some of them even 40 cemeteries in a system. They've got 1 million deceased records in there.
In the next episode, Bertus talks more about how they leverage the many facets of the Sage CRM core product, contacts, sales and service modules, as they are known in the vanilla product, to provide and expand the multi-dimensional system that they offer within the death care industry.
You've been listening to Talking CRM with Jeff and David, getting the best for the whole organization from your integrated CRM and accounting systems.